scholar. Okay, reporters, we're going to talk about the U.S. reciprocal trade deal with Malaysia. So the hot topic lah. Please come and ask some tough questions if you want. Yeah? Offer, mesti offer.
Tough question.
Okay, we're going to start in 1-2 minutes. Any reporters here that want to join in this press conference?
You may ask, but we might not answer.
It doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like a lot, but never mind.
Not many of them.
You cover everybody, is it? Would they pay you or not, brother? That's the main point. Okay, we're going to start. Okay, I'm going to read out the press statement. Press statement on the recent reciprocal trade agreement signed between Malaysia and United States on 26 October 2025. We, the members here, are the members of the Parliamentary Select Committee, YB Howard, YB Kuraman, YB Jong, YB Yunus. They are members of my committee. I'm the chair of that committee. The Parliamentary Special Select Committee on International Relations and International Trade takes note of the recent agreement on reciprocal trade signed on 26 October 2025 between Malaysia and the United States, held in conjunction with President Trump's visit for the ASEAN Summit 2025. The opposition members, and apparently a few our own members also from the government, YB Hassan just gave his speech, has since raised concerns regarding certain terms of the agreement, particularly the allegation that Malaysia may have compromised aspects of its sovereign rights in trade matters. The committee, as a bipartisan body, we have YB Kuraman with us, of Parliament of Malaysia recognizes that trade agreements do not constitutionally require parliamentary approval. However, members of Parliament, through their participation in select committees, have sworn to uphold and defend the sovereignty of the nation and the federal constitution. In light of this, the committee is of the view that a select committee hearing should be convened to examine this matter thoroughly. And we haven't added this in, but basically we have agreed on a timeline. We've already booked the meeting. It will be done on November 12th at 11 a.m. in Parliament, Malaysia. Yeah, November 12th, 11 a.m. We intend to invite the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI. The Embassy of United States in Malaysia will also be given an invitation. We will also invite eminent economists and representatives from trade chambers to provide their views and also to respond to questions. So all this invitation will be sent out tomorrow. The purpose of this hearing is to enable the Madani government, which most of us are members of, to clarify and explain the recent reciprocal trade agreement with the United States, particularly in the context of Malaysia's commitments under multilateral trade agreements, because we have many multilateral trade agreements, free trade agreements as well, and economic engagement with nations that may not be aligned fully with the US on trade matters, including members of BRICS, which we intend to join, such as Brazil. As you know, US has issues with Brazil. With China, I hope that the ongoing engagement will improve, but with Russia and also with even an ally of the West, India. So we need to know, what we've signed, how would that impact our relationship, because there are many issues raised inside the agreement, such as sanctions against countries that are not aligned to US interests. So while Parliament does not possess the authority to vote on trade agreements, it nonetheless has the duty to ensure the Madani government's accountability, in fact, any government's accountability, in policy decisions that they make. We therefore reiterate the importance of professionalizing select committees to ensure that they are independent and non-partisan. To achieve this, greater institutional support and resources are essential. Last week, I gave a statement about the issue with YB Howard. I raised the issue that we need to raise about 2 million for each committee. The Prime Minister in his budget speech has allocated roughly about 500,000 per committee. The previous government gave us 1 million under Ismail Sabri. So if we cannot have a professional select committee, we don't have enough funding, right? So we want to take the opportunity to say, look, like in this particular matter, it's very clear. There are so many terms there. We need a good trade professional lawyer to advise. We can't pay that with the little resources we have. So I hope we take this occasion to also point out it's not so simple. we need the money to bring in expert advice, professionals, PhD, all these super important people, even fly in if possible, experts from other countries to tell us. Yeah? So on that note, this is basically a call for the hearing. We're not making judgment at all, but if you have any questions, we'll take it now. And also, I would like my members, any of them, if they want to add in anything. Would it be cool? Howard? No? Yeah? Okay, any questions? Okay, so the term of the agreement is quite simple. At the end there, you have this idea of a time scale. This agreement that was signed on 60 days after that will become so-called fixed. During that period, the Malaysian government, if they feel uncomfortable about certain clauses, they can appeal, but the other side must agree, and they've couched in reasonable terms. So when we do a hearing on the 12th, we will relay the feedback directly to the government. We will also make recommendations. Hopefully, the government takes those recommendations in view, and then they will communicate to the US side, and hopefully we can get some compromise on certain of these clauses which we deem at the moment to be, on surface reading, threatening to our... Yeah, if it's to be found, yeah. So to be fair, we're not making a judgment call on. I'm a lawyer, I do read, Howard reads it, he reads it differently, he reads it differently. So let's leave it to the expert to testify on the 12th of November. And the recommendations we make will give us an opportunity for the government to make amendments if need be and if the Americans agree. Yeah, let's not commit ourselves into this thing, on a rush, a bit too early. So we have 60 days from the 26th of October.
And I'll even add to that.
Yeah, please.
In fact, one of the clauses in question, which is 5.1, in itself, there is a certain degree of complementarity and reciprocity that is worked in where any course of action that is to be taken, remedial or otherwise, needs to be agreed by both parties. Yep. So complementarity and reciprocity is worked into the very clause that is in question.
Yeah, again, we are not trade expert lawyers, and there are only like 10 firms in the world that does this. So, let's listen to their views and let's try to keep an open mind. I would suggest YB Hassan to cool down a bit, And, I know he's a lawyer. He sits next to me. I swear to God, I didn't tell him anything. So, but I think it's really important because, we have to be clear because it will have an impact on our trade with the other countries like China in particular, right?
So that clause is the most troubling, is it?
No, to me, that's not even the most troubling clause. I will... Well, I don't want to, yeah, but there are versions that, I'll give you the clause, okay? I'll give you the clause. After all that we've signed, there is a clause in particular, 7.4, 7.3 on enforcement. There is ability of any party, to be fair, it's not couched like America only can do it. They can also increase tariff, irrespective of what we sign. So when we sign an agreement, we hope that there's a finality, there's no more adjustment. God forbid we sign this, tomorrow we wake up, we want to hit America with a 45% tariff. That's allowable under that particular enforcement issue. So I think clarity is important. Again, we are not trade expert, so let's have the hearing on the 12th November. So please, when we finish our hearing, probably it'll take 4 hours.
We've booked 4 hours.
We booked 4 hours. We might drag a bit more, but I think by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, I think it's a Wednesday, November 12th, come back and we'll tell you our recommendations to the government. Okay? Any other questions?
And I think we must make clear that whatever findings that we may have or may not have after the hearing, we will still not be able to make public the findings anyway. So we must make that clear.
Not yet.
Sure. We can disclose our recommendation. That's not an issue. Whether the government adopts that recommendation and what they do and in communication with America, if there's need for changes, we leave it to the government. Yeah, but we need to do our job as members of Parliament. We need to drive policy. We don't vote on a trade deal, but we need to drive policy. Okay? Okay, thank you. Kuraman and
okay.
Why no? Okay, thank you so much. Yeah? Okay, thank you.